Here we are at the beginning of the year, and we thought, Mary and I thought that we would maybe have a little conversation about 2022 and a little bit about what's coming up in 2023. So with that, Mary, maybe you get started and talk a little bit about what you think was maybe the greatest impact that GlobalWaterWorks had in 2022.
Thanks, Frank. It is so exciting to connect every day actually with you. You are so diligent and committed to this, and also our members. I'd say the most exciting part is always the people and hearing about the passion that creates movements. And so we're very excited to be partnering regularly with the World Water Action Forum and seeing the introduction of their Rain Reach program. Mm-hmm. That was huge because we're now partnering to equip schools with rainwater harvesting, seeing the infinitely renewable water there in thanks to the work of Hari Haran Chandra and Raj and Rajaram and others on that team, and having weekly gatherings. Many of you in the community have been part of their showcases to discover technologies for India. Mm-hmm. And then closer to home, for the first time, GlobalWaterWorks allowed me to stay active right here in my own Libertyville with a group called Lake County Lake Lovers. And we introduced a solution to harmful algae blooms, partnering with Wayne Carmichael, one of the foremost world researchers on harmful algae blooms, who was thrilled to share we can shift the focus. After 50 years of looking at researching and monitoring and sending out alerts, we can now treat these lakes and restore them by biodigesting the sediment and allowing for nature to take its course with enzymes and oxidation. So beautiful solutions that are very high impact, and those I would say most excited me. And the addition of we now have a web landing page and your tech showcases going out to the world. So that's very exciting to me as we look at what's people who are taking the initiative and actually leading spaces that you've found in the community.
So 7 years you've been at this. I've been with you for 3, and a lot of activity, a lot of progress, and some of it has been a little bit disparate because people, and I know because I've been working with you, people come at us from all angles, from all parts of the world. So with that, what are you looking at in 2023 as your major and our major focus at GlobalWaterWorks?
Yeah, well, I think the focus is exciting to build on what's working. So rather than every day I'm chasing the new shiny object, but if we look at what's really working and we say, we can move with 3 initiatives, basically. We can restore lakes and help lake lovers around the world create their spaces. The spaces are working. People are bringing people together and finding they don't need a website. They don't need a meeting place, and have little meetup space where they can store files and they can share ideas, schedule meetings, and advance projects, proposals, like we did with the Lake County Lake Lovers I just mentioned. Mm-hmm. And so 3 things. Like I said, I chase the squirrel every minute, but we want to go to the lakes and then the rainwater harvesting, making sure there's enough water for everyone. In most cities, the floods are creating problems, but if you capture the rain, you both address the flood and the need for clean water. And then finally, the opportunity to provide quality water at the point of use, because so many people in our Water Tech Showcase have been focused on turning the unthinkable into drinkable water wherever you are. And that can alleviate the issue of these plastic water bottles, these emergency relief, these very high cost shipped, bottles that go unused or create new pollution on the site. So lakes, rainwater, and also drinking water point of use solutions.
I think that we've seen, the foundation of GlobalWaterWorks is certainly in the tech showcase, but the power and certainly our direction is connecting, right? And it's communication and connecting locally, then being able to scale that globally. And some of the great examples of that, certainly the rainwater harvesting systems in Kenya, where that was brought up in the community, and Greg Chick from the West Coast, Raj from Illinois, Jacob Kabanga from Busia, Kenya. They got together and they used the Global Water Works community really to put together what is today a functioning rainwater harvesting system that we were happily and proud to be able to raise some money and fund a grant for him. I think we've seen that in the county lake lovers, bringing people together, and in one hand, certainly raising a lot of interest, but also in putting together a response to a project that will make use of an ARPA grant that has already been let to Lake County. And that was, once again, bringing people together in the community and connecting. And that's, certainly, and you said being with the people and communicating with the people is what you enjoy the most and what you see the greatest impact from. And I agree with that. I mean, the greatest impact that we have is certainly a great joy comes from hearing people talk about how they successfully use the community to get something done, or to bring people together, or get an expert on something, and then to actually produce results, which is certainly what we're all about, is impact and results. So looking at this and say, okay, now 2023 with the focus on point of use and source water remediation and rainwater harvesting as our three big initiatives. How do you see education being certainly a leg of the stool in all three of those to make them work?
Great question, Frank, because you could say that's a separate bucket, but really it's the horizontal glue. Education keeps everyone across a vertical connected, and education and smart water connectivity and leadership. So there are three, the verticals that we're talking about, these specific solutions, rainwater, drinking water, and lake restoration, all require a strong foundation of best practices, experts you can tap, leaders, and they also require the data so that we can measure the results, the impact, both, how do we prioritize who needs treatment first, and then how do we show that the solutions have worked and report back on them. That was actually the heart of Global WaterWorks. We started with the understanding that for hundreds of years, people have advocated for better water management, but it's only now with the drones and satellites and all the data that we can measure what we want to manage, and so take appropriate action on it. And that's where it gets very exciting. So education as the foundational piece, plus, and that comes through thought leaders like yourselves who are watching this. We need you. Frank and I, as he said, are just connectors. But what we want to do then is have a leadership development. Frank developed an amazing course on building productivity for teams through coaching. It's in the community. And then using the intelligent water providers who are in your Water Tech Showcase that you can access now from our website and also from the community. We have incredible resources for you, whether you're however much time you spend in the community. We guarantee you'll get value out of it if you just let us know if you're not finding what you need. But there are technology providers, there's a global events calendar, there's a group for whatever you want to do, and you can set up a group for your region too. So there's no shortage of what we can accomplish together.
So we know that very easy to look, and we know that God created the water in the heavens and on the earth. And today we have the same amount of water as the minute he spoke it into existence. But we often, we talk about, and certainly you often say that Global WaterWorks is really God's waterworks. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, he actually nudged me to get out of my daily grind to help a group in Pakistan deliver water and jobs. And they happened to be elders from my church at the time. And I felt, wow, that's interesting. And then he opened my eyes to the need for water innovation, because we went on a search for the most efficient water technology. So, I mean, he is the one who gives us wisdom and knowledge and guidance. And he has, someone prayed at that time and they said, GlobalWaterWorks is really just a jalopy that God is driving. And you and Frank might be able to invite people onto that car, on that jalopy. But he came with the water in Genesis 1:2, it says that. And he has created water so that it actually mirrors him in three forms. You know, it renews us, restores us, and it comes back perfectly clean, just as God promises. So we are dedicating GlobalWaterWorks to God, because he's the one, it's really God's waterworks. And it only works when we do things his way, as we see with his infinitely renewable water. And so I'm most excited. One final thing, Frank, is what you are doing with this book potentially for Sunday schools.
Mhm.
And if you could describe just the two components that I think are so incredibly useful to everyone, every age.
Well, certainly we believe, and Mary touched on education as being very, very important. And we recently did a poll, and we do a poll every Tuesday. We just recently did a poll, and the question in the poll was, education, if education is important around water, at what level is most important to begin addressing water? And the clear answer was grades 1 through 6, the young children. So we're writing this book, and I'm writing it with Violet Nash. She's a 9-year-old, wonderful little girl literally from my church, very, very smart. And what we're addressing in it is water and where it's from, and the whole water cycle. It's really God's water cycle for perpetual water. And then the second part of the book is around stewardship of water, which, and this is, in the book is focused on, and the attention will be children's Sunday school classes, you know, across the US and across the world. And so we're giving Sunday school teachers a total course and curriculum on water and water stewardship. And we're having a lot of fun doing this, and we're hoping to see it in publication by the middle of this year.
Yeah. And that reminds me, at the start of this year, we actually did a prayer and fasting, and we have a bi-weekly prayer gathering in the Global Waterworks community. Whatever your faith, whatever your interest, we're not here about telling you what to believe, but we are here to pray and to lift up any requests and invite anyone to join in those sessions, 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern, or 10:30 p.m. If you're over in India or Asia. But we just love the fact that when we ask, there are answers, and we are not alone. And we have God-sized water problems. So we believe we need to involve the Creator, and invite you to join us in that, and or just join us in the community. There's something for everyone.
So Mary, as we wrap up here, you know, you see you have the three major focuses that we're going to be focused on in 2023: point of use, source water remediation, and rainwater harvesting. Around that, what do you see as the biggest way that we at GlobalWaterWorks, the entire community of 2,600 and the leadership and all the associated associations with us, what do you see as the way that will make the biggest impact on water in 2023?
Yeah, right there in your local community. I think the goal is to connect those in search of solutions with the experts and the technologies and best practices. And you know best what's going on in your local community. And so asking where they need help, and then turning to GlobalWaterWorks and using these spaces, Frank, to move things forward. Water is multi-stakeholder. So unless you're able to set up a space where you can ask the health department, you can invite the water department and others to chime in to join you in tackling. Maybe it's a flood issue. Maybe it's a, I'll share an example. River Wye in the UK, they weren't sure how to get momentum, but when they set up a space for themselves, they invited someone from Parliament, someone from the local water authority, and the local college chimed in, said they'd want to lend expertise, and then a number of groups with similar visions joined in. And so it creates an easy hub for you to share files, create a calendar, avoid duplicate work, and tap the knowledge of the greater network for you. And if you prefer privacy, we just learned from the Mighty Networks group that we can actually isolate the community. So it's totally yours, and you can have people charging or paying for access to it if you like to be totally private and keep control. So even you could have a Grumfos community and a Xylem community in the whole Global WaterWorks network and never know that the other exists, but they get the benefits of all the network features.
Well, it's been a great time. We certainly, you and I spend a lot of time together via Zoom, which is great. It's been a great time to sit down and kind of think about 2022 a little bit, and 2023 and where we're going, and we're going to have a great year.
We are.
And,
Amen.
And certainly we're going to do this. Mary and I will do this together a couple more frequently, certainly this year than last, to make sure everybody stays up to date and is included, and that we're all connecting each other and connecting with our water to make water work and solve the global water crisis. Thanks, Mary. Look forward to it.
Me too, Frank. And anyone, if you don't know your role in Global WaterWorks, tap our bios and schedule an appointment, and we'll brainstorm with you, because you are the experts. We need everyone to make global water work. The water sector is growing and getting smarter, yet the challenges it is facing are also becoming more frequent. Aging infrastructure, emerging contaminants, floods, and drought impact water security, affordability, availability, and sustainability. As challenges appear to be increasing, innovation is also increasing, enabling those in search of solutions to find answers. Staying current could seem impossible unless you have a mighty network like Global WaterWorks. This award-winning 501c3 charitable organization is committing to solving the global water crisis in this generation, and it has provided a user-friendly interface to connect the people, processes, and technologies who are already making water work. Browse by topics, groups, or journeys. Search the global calendar and use location settings to find members near you wherever you travel. Check out the Growing Water Tech Showcase, where you will find proven solutions accompanied by case studies. To date, we've connected 2,300 water professionals and educators across more than 90 countries. Now, social media is not for everyone, but if you care about solving the global water crisis, you'll want to dive right in and get more done faster. Help us connect drops of interest for waves of impact, and start to tap a world of water experts at your fingertips. GlobalWaterWorks.org.